What if I told you that McDonald's doesn't really make its money from burgers? That the Big Mac, the fries, the golden arches, it's all just branding. Because behind the cash registers and clown mascots is something far more powerful. A global $42 billion real estate empire. You see, McDonald's isn't just flipping burgers, it's flipping land. And while most people think it's just another fast food franchise, it's actually one of the largest private landlords in the world, owning thousands of prime properties in cities, suburbs, and even inside other stores. They call it a franchise, but the model looks more like a cult. One where McDonald's owns the land, sets the rules, and collects rent while franchisees carry the risk. And it all started with a milkshake machine, a bold business move, and one quote that changed everything. "We're not in the food business, we're in the real estate business." Let me show you how deep this really goes. From the outside, McDonald's is the most recognizable restaurant on earth. Over 36,000 locations, billions of burgers sold, a logo more familiar than most national flags. But here's what most people miss. McDonald's doesn't just operate restaurants. It owns them. Not just the branding, not just the fryers. We're talking about the actual land underneath the restaurants, and a lot of it. McDonald's owns or controls more than 30,000 properties worldwide. That includes corner lots in major cities, highway exits, shopping malls, and even hundreds of Walmart in-store locations. Their portfolio is estimated to be worth over $40 billion, with some analysts suggesting it may quietly top $100 billion if fully evaluated. They are the largest private owner of retail property on the planet. And here's the kicker. Only 15% of those locations are company-run. The rest are franchises. Which means McDonald's collects rent from thousands of independent operators for properties they already own. It's brilliant, it's invisible, and it's everywhere. But how did they pull this off? The year was 1954. A struggling milkshake machine salesman named Ray Kroc noticed something strange. One tiny burger stand in San Bernardino, California, had ordered 8 of his multi-mixers. Curious, he paid the place a visit. That stand belonged to Dick and Mac McDonald, 2 brothers who had perfected a revolutionary system. A limited menu, ultra-fast service, and burgers for just 15 cents. The kitchen ran like an assembly line. No wait staff, no clutter, just speed, volume, and consistency. Kroc saw something most people didn't: scale. He knew this wasn't just a successful restaurant. It was a system that could spread across the country. So he pitched the brothers on franchising. At first they agreed, but it didn't last. 6 years later, Kroc bought them out. $2.7 million in 1961, a massive number at the time. But Kroc didn't do it alone. He had help from a man who would completely reshape the company's direction. Harry J. Sonneborn, McDonald's first CEO. And it was Sonneborn who delivered the line that revealed the real plan. "We're not in the food business. We're in the real estate business. The only reason we sell hamburgers is because they're the best way to collect rent." That one quote, it wasn't just a mindset. It became the foundation of one of the most profitable real estate strategies in modern history. After buying out the McDonald brothers, Ray Kroc didn't just focus on expansion, he focused on ownership. And with Sonneborn by his side, they launched a new entity, Franchise Realty Corporation. The strategy was simple but brilliant. Instead of selling off franchises and letting operators find their own land, McDonald's would buy the land themselves, then lease it to the franchisee. This meant every time someone wanted to open a McDonald's, they weren't just buying into the brand, they were renting space from the corporation itself. Rent wasn't cheap either. Franchisees paid a base rent, but they also had to hand over a percentage of gross sales, sometimes as high as 10.7%. That's on top of royalties and other fees. And if the restaurant failed, McDonald's kept the land. If it succeeded, McDonald's still kept the land and raised the rent. Franchisees didn't get equity. They didn't own the buildings. They didn't even get full control over operations. But McDonald's, they got a growing stream of real estate income locked in by long-term contracts across thousands of locations, all while others did the hard work of running the restaurants. It looked like franchising, But underneath, it was something else entirely. A nationwide landlord scheme disguised as a burger empire. McDonald's isn't just collecting rent, they're strategically engineering where and how people eat. Their site selection isn't random, it's a calculated game of urban dominance. They target high-traffic intersections, corner lots, highway exits, retail parks, and suburban anchors. The goal? Visibility, volume, and control. In many cases, McDonald's buys land years before development even starts, using market analytics, traffic data, and demographic modeling to predict future value. They're not just reacting to real estate trends, they're setting them. They've also mastered embedding themselves inside larger ecosystems. Over 3,000 McDonald's locations are inside Walmarts alone. Others sit inside airports, shopping malls, train stations, anywhere you can't avoid them. Why does that matter? Because these aren't just burger joints, they're foot traffic machines. And by owning the land under those machines, McDonald's doesn't just profit off burgers. They leverage the traffic to secure even more valuable real estate deals, often getting better placement, better lease terms, or exclusivity clauses in large developments. And during economic downturns, like in 2008, when competitors cut back, McDonald's went shopping. They bought land, locked in deals, and expanded their grip, while everyone else downsized. This isn't just fast food, it's territorial expansion. And McDonald's plays the long game better than almost anyone else. On paper, franchising sounds like the American dream. You run your own business, sell a proven product, and ride the golden arches to financial freedom. But McDonald's model isn't built to create owners. It's built to create tenants. Franchisees don't own the land. They don't own the building. They pay McDonald's rent, royalties, fees, and often a cut of their total sales, no matter how well or poorly they're doing. And if a franchisee falls behind, underperforms, or violates policy, McDonald's can terminate the agreement and lease the location to someone else, while keeping all the equity. It gets deeper. Because McDonald's controls the real estate, they also control how the store looks, what gets sold, the operating hours, the design, the signage, everything. They even run a training program called Hamburger University to ensure total compliance. The result? You take on the risk, the overhead, the staff, and the pressure, while McDonald's sits on appreciating land and collects rent like a landlord. It's not a partnership, it's a pipeline. And to most franchisees, that pipeline feels like a one-way street, where the real winner isn't the person flipping burgers. It's the one who owns the dirt. Let's talk numbers. In 2014, McDonald's reported $27.4 billion in total revenue. Of that, $18.2 billion came from company-operated restaurants. The rest, $9.2 billion, came from franchise locations. Sounds like company stores are the big moneymaker, right? Not even close. Because here's the twist. McDonald's keeps just 16% of the revenue from its company-operated stores after paying for staff, inventory, operations, and overhead. But from its franchise stores, it keeps over 80%. Why? Because those franchisees are paying rent, royalties, and fees with almost zero expense on McDonald's side. In 1 year, they pulled in $7.6 billion in pure profit from franchisees, more than double what they earn from the restaurants they run themselves. So even though McDonald's sells billions of burgers, the real cash doesn't come from food. It comes from the buildings the food is sold in. Land is predictable. Food isn't. And McDonald's figured out how to turn every meal into a monthly rent check. This is why in economic downturns, when foot traffic drops and burgers stop flying off the grill, McDonald's still profits because the rent is due either way. McDonald's didn't stop at Main Street, USA. They expanded their real estate strategy around the world, becoming one of the largest commercial property owners on the planet. Today, they operate in over 100 countries, with more than 15,000 properties either owned or leased by the corporation. In international markets, the playbook stays the same. Acquire the land, lease it to franchisees, lock in long-term control. Many of these locations are locked in through 20 to 40-year lease agreements, giving McDonald's decades of predictable income, no matter what's happening with burger sales. And because the company controls the land, it also controls access. In cities where space is limited and competition is fierce, McDonald's often beats rivals to the punch. Not because their food is better, but because they own the lot the competition wants. Even lenders treat McDonald's like a fortress. With billions in appreciating land, low-risk leases, and thousands of locations, banks offer them favorable financing, allowing them to expand faster than almost any brand in history. It's not just a global restaurant chain, it's a real estate juggernaut, one burger wrapper at a time. McDonald's is everywhere, from remote highways to major airports, from city centers to Walmart entrances. It's nearly impossible to avoid the golden arches. But behind the fries and friendly mascots is something far more calculated. McDonald's didn't just franchise a restaurant. They built a system where the real product isn't food, it's real estate. They own the land, they lease it out, they control the rules, and they let others carry the risk. It looks like a burger business. It operates like a billion-dollar landlord cult. Franchisees buy in thinking they're business owners. But what they really become is part of a carefully engineered system that funnels power, profits, and long-term control right back to corporate. And the genius of it? It's all hidden in plain sight. Under arches, we've been conditioned to trust since childhood. So the next time you drive past a McDonald's, ask yourself, is that a fast food joint or a $42 billion real estate machine in disguise?